2:47 a.m. The doors of Dubai's most exclusive penthouse explode open. Police in tactical gear swarm a bedroom where a man sleeps surrounded by designer bags stuffed with cash. His phone still glows with notifications, eyes groggy, head spinning, with 2.5 million followers watching as Ramon Abbas, the self-proclaimed billionaire Gucci master, becomes inmate 54387. This was no ordinary arrest. The FBI had just captured one of history's most brazen digital outlaws.
Ramon Abbas unknowingly had given us everything we needed to make the arrest, and it was from all those posts that he loved to make on his beloved Instagram and other social media platforms.
A man who turned Instagram likes into a $24 million crime spree, who scammed Premier League clubs
from an English Premier League soccer club. Luckily, all we know about this attempted scam is just that. It was an attempt.
Laundered money for North Korean hackers and nearly got away with it all. Because nobody suspects that the man wearing a $230,000 watch is stealing your life savings. This is how a boy from the slums of Lagos became the world's most infamous scammer, and how one text message finally took him down. Welcome back to Bad People, where we deep dive into the most mind-boggling cases. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss any episode. Ramon Abbas was born in the bustling neighborhood of Oworonshoki, Lagos, Nigeria. Life there was anything but luxurious. His mother sold second-hand clothes in the local Olojojo market, and his father drove a taxi to make ends meet. There were no silk sheets or diamond chains, just long days, tough streets, and dreams too big for his zip code. Despite his modest roots, those who knew Abbas remember one thing clearly. He liked to spend. Even before his name lit up headlines or Instagram feeds, he was known for splashing cash at local parties, picking up the tab for beer rounds, and living larger than his circumstances suggested. It raised eyebrows. Where was the money coming from? Soon, rumors gave the answer. Abbas was whispered to be a Yahoo Boy, the nickname in Nigeria for internet fraudsters who thrived during the early days of online romance scams. The name came from Yahoo Mail, the platform where many of them operated. These scammers crafted elaborate fake identities, built online relationships with unsuspecting victims, and slowly drained their savings through fabricated emergencies and promises of love. It was digital heartbreak turned into profit.
Well, Ramon Abbas is a high-level member of a transnational criminal enterprise out of West Africa that he and his group are responsible for millions and millions of dollars worth of fraud, which is known within the FBI as the business email compromise.
Abbas, though, wasn't just dabbling. He was learning, growing bolder, and mastering the game. The stories of his generosity were matched by quiet tales of deception. While others were stuck in small-time cons, he was preparing for something much bigger. But Abbas wouldn't stop at dating scams. Malaysia and Dubai were calling. By 2014, Abbas had left Lagos behind and moved to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, a known hub for cybercriminal networks. But it was in 2017, when he relocated to Dubai, that his image underwent a dramatic upgrade. His Instagram became a digital shrine to luxury. Private jets, Louis Vuitton luggage, Rolexes on both wrists, and captions oozing with confidence. He wasn't a scammer anymore. He was a real estate developer, or so he claimed. But behind the filters and hashtags, the crimes escalated. Hushpuppi was now involved in large-scale cyber fraud, targeting corporations and governments with precision and reach. His ambitions weren't local, they were global. In 2019, his name surfaced in one of the most audacious cyber attacks to date. North Korean hackers had stolen 13 million euros from the Bank of Valletta in Malta, and Hushpuppi was allegedly brought in to help launder it. The fallout was immediate. Bank systems froze. International payments ground to a halt. Trust between companies and clients began to erode. It was a digital earthquake in European finance. After the failed laundering attempt, Abbas messaged one of his partners, "Damn, too bad they caught on." A quiet admission that even in his world of high fashion and higher stakes, things didn't always go to plan. Next up, one of his most daring targets yet, the English Premier League. After years of romance scams and luxury flaunting, Hushpuppi shifted gears. He dove deep into business email compromise, BEC. It wasn't flashy like Instagram posts, but it was effective. His crew crafted lookalike email accounts nearly identical to real ones, tricking employees into sending millions to the wrong bank. All it took was a convincing message: "We've switched banks. Please wire funds to this new account." Simple, but devastating. In May 2019, Abbas aimed high. He planned to help launder £100 million from a Premier League club and £200 million from a UK company. Two separate scores, one blueprint. But the banks in the UK were sharper than expected. They flagged and blocked the transfers to a Mexican account tied to the scheme. His partner, frustrated, texted, "They keep finding out." It wasn't the only time their plan unraveled, but more often than not, the money slipped through. This kind of fraud doesn't make headlines until the numbers are massive, and Abbas was aiming global, multiple BEC attacks across continents, targeting corporations, governments, and high-net-worth individuals. Many schemes succeeded. Silent theft, no break-ins, no alarms, just one wrong click and millions vanished. But one particular scheme, involving an ambitious project in the Middle East, would mark the beginning of his end. In late 2019, a wealthy Qatari businessman sought funding for a school. He needed a $15 million loan, and that opened the door for Abbas. Posing as a New York-based banker, he inserted himself as the man with the connections. A web of accomplices stretched across Kenya, Nigeria, and the United States, all playing roles in the fraud. In total, over $1 million was siphoned from the deal, and one slice of that money, $230,000, was used to purchase a Richard Mille watch, one of the world's most expensive timepieces. Luxury was not only an image, it was the reward. But greed breeds instability. When one gang member complained about his share, Abbas didn't just ignore it, he couldn't take it. He reached out to someone with power, Abba Kyari, a celebrated Nigerian police officer. Abbas sent him a message that left little doubt. "I want him to go through serious beating. Send this boy to jail." Kyari allegedly followed through. The man was detained, silenced. But that act would expose more than it concealed, as the FBI obtained these damning messages and set their sights on both the scammer and his corrupt police accomplice. Soon, Kyari himself was on the radar, now wanted in the US for fraud and identity theft linked to the case. And while the school never saw its promised future, authorities were preparing their own final chapter.
State Attorney's Office says Ramon Abbas, also known as Hushpuppi, paid a Deputy Commissioner of Police in Nigeria, Abba Kyari, to arrest and jail an estranged co-conspirator, Chibuzo Vincent.
The trail was clear. The funds, the fraud, the threats, they all pointed back to Dubai. And Dubai police were preparing to knock. June 2020 marked the end of Ramon Abbas's opulent reign. Dubai police stormed his lavish residence at the Palazzo Versace hotel, an arrest that looked like it was pulled straight from a movie. But this wasn't fiction. It was the unraveling of one of the most prolific cyber fraudsters in recent memory. Inside the luxury suite, authorities uncovered staggering evidence. $41 million in cash, bundled, stacked, and stored like a vault, had just been emptied. Parked outside were 13 high-end vehicles, collectively valued at $6.8 million. Bentleys, Ferraris, Range Rovers. They weren't just cars, they were symbols of a digital empire built on lies. What really stood out, though, were the devices. Laptops, phones, hard drives, containing the emails of over 2 million potential victims. Each one a possible lead. Each one a digital breadcrumb that told the story of how deep his operation ran. Soon after, Abbas was extradited to the United States, where the weight of his actions came crashing down. In April 2021, he pled guilty to conspiracy to launder money.
Today we have an exclusive inside look at the internet scam that has been sweeping this country, based out of Nigeria.
A sweeping charge tied to a massive web of scams that stretched from North America to Europe to the Middle East. Prosecutors said it wasn't just one or two schemes. In just a year and a half, Abbas allegedly tried to move over $300 million through fraudulent transactions. The court sentenced him to 11 years, or 135 months, behind bars. Alongside the prison term, he was ordered to repay $1.7 million in restitution, a drop in the ocean compared to the scope of the alleged fraud. Yet the numbers, the headlines, and the prison bars couldn't silence the digital persona he had crafted. Even locked up, Hushpuppi's social media presence lingered, and that digital shadow only grew in the aftermath of his fall. Before flashing lights and handcuffs entered the picture, Hushpuppi was already a star. 2.5 million followers watched his every move. He posed in front of Bentleys, leaned against Ferraris, and paired the images with grand, defiant captions. One read, "Thank you, Lord Guy. Continue to shame those waiting for me to be shamed." Confidence oozed from every pixel. After his arrest, something unexpected happened. Rather than disappear from public interest, his follower count actually grew. Another 500,000 people joined the digital audience. Some were likely drawn by curiosity, others by admiration. Either way, the account remained a symbol, loud, defiant, and unfiltered.
Obio! Father, there yourself. See us. Obio!
That very Instagram profile played a role in building the case against him. FBI agents used the content to link email addresses and phone numbers to fraudulent transactions. Every selfie, every comment, every tag became a digital footprint in a larger investigation. But his reach didn't stop at entertainment. It shaped perception. Nigerian criminologist Dr. Oyanuga remarked, "I've seen parents send their kids to learn how to be Yahoo Boys." And Hushpuppi had become a living billboard for that world, despite the prison walls.
Puppy, Ramon Abbas. At that time, he was one of the very smart boys. He went very far. He met a lot of people who could help him improve on the skills of cybercrime.
And that's how the curtain fell on one of Instagram's most infamous illusions. Ray Hushpuppi's story is a twisted blend of glamour, greed, and global cybercrime. He showed the world that an email can steal millions, and that likes don't equal legacy. The Instagram page may still be live, but the man behind it will spend years in silence. What do you think? Was justice served? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.